Hi, my name is Pablo van der Bosch and I'm going to introduce to you Madaster. Madaster is the register for materials and products applied in the built environment. We are driven by a vision and we want to facilitate the transition towards a circular economy. Our vision is based upon 4 simple statements. First of all, we see the Earth as a closed system. Nothing comes in, nothing goes out. And in such a closed system, all resources are limited editions, like pieces of art. So why have we created an economy that is linear, where we take, make and waste? And that waste is a big problem, which we actually can avoid, because we see waste as material without an identity. If you know what it is, it has always a value in a closed system where all resources are limited editions. So let's give identities to materials. And the way how we do that is by using the concept of a passport. We have created a register, a global online register that makes it easier to upload all the information required about products and materials applied, to upload that to generate passports. Material passports, product passports, building passports. And we do that for real estate and for the infrastructure sector. And we focus on these sectors because these sectors are traditional, but they also generate a lot of waste and they consume tons of energy, both by the construction objects in use, but also the energy that's required to generate the products and materials applied. And besides a platform that generates passports and where you can register your products and materials, we've put a lot of effort into establishing a strong governance. Because when you assemble so much data, it is key that you avoid platform excesses. So we have a not-for-profit governance organization that is supervising us with some very clear and strong instruments to make sure that we avoid those excesses. The platform we've created is a cloud platform with 4 simple, clear products. First of all, we have an object dossier where you can upload your full portfolio or your building or your infrastructural object. It can be data uploaded via pictures, via Word documents, PDFs, but we actually love Excel sheets and even better, BIM files, the 3D building information models that consist of very valuable information that we can process on our platform. Second product that we have is the functionality to generate a passport. So for everything that you've registered, we automatically create a passport. A building passport, a material product passport, or even a passport for your entire portfolio. Third product is we provide a financial valuation of the materials that are registered. Based on the connections we have with financial indices, we provide you what the current and future value is of the materials applied. And the fourth product is we generate a circularity index of the objects that you've registered. That circularity index is based on the Ellen MacArthur Foundation methodology that takes into account what products you have applied, how you've applied them, so can you disconnect them or can you refurbish them, what type of products and materials, so if it's rapidly renewable or natural products, that obviously is better than when you use chemical products that will lead to potentially toxic waste. So we generate that financial valuation and that circularity index based on the knowledge that we currently have. Is that correct? Probably not. But we've made it a first try and we are very open and transparent on how we do these calculations. And based on the continuous feedback that we receive from the market, we improve both the financial valuation and the circularity index. So the more it is being used, the better it is. And what we are not doing is saying that we know that this is a fact. What we know is that this will help to make the products and materials applied more transparent, and with that transparency we are convinced that we facilitate the transition towards circularity. Our platform is not standalone. it is a cloud platform, and we love to connect to the ecosystem, preferably the local ecosystem. So when we've uploaded information via Excel or via the IFC BIM models, we enrich that data with data that we get from all sorts of sources, public sources, private sources, with financial information or with product information like LCA data or the amount of carbon that was required to produce a particular product. We combine that enriched data with the data of the object with towards the various products that I already introduced. The passport, the financial valuation, the circularity index. But the best thing of our platform is that it's not standalone, but it is a starting point to connect to the ecosystem. An ecosystem where you can think about marketplaces where reused products are being traded, or certifiers that say what the rating is of your building, gold, silver, bronze, or maybe a rating that is obligatory from your local regulator. Also, we make sure that the data that is registered, your data that's being registered, that it can be forwarded to the entity or the person that you want to forward it to. Maybe the buyer of your product, or if you're an architect, maybe your client that asks you to upload the information about the object that you've designed. So now there's a register. All that data, what's the benefit of that? First of all, the most important role is that that data can be used in a circular ecosystem. An ecosystem where the actors of the system can rely upon the availability of the data. As said, we take care of managing your data in a very private and secure way. If you do not want to forward it, it stays all yours. If you want to forward it, for instance, to a marketplace or to your client or to a potential buyer, then it's up to you to determine who gets access to your data and to what extent. In this picture behind me, Madaster is in the center of that ecosystem. But to be a bit more honest, if there is a utility like a data source as Madaster, it's not that important anymore. As soon as it's there, the ecosystem can trust upon it, and sometimes you even forget that it's there. A true utility. Madaster loves to connect and to link. Connecting and linking to, for instance, LCA data or public data with respect to where houses are located or objects. Connecting to vendor data or certification data from cradle to LEED, WELL, BREEAM, etc. And with a platform like Madaster, you can manage smart cities, because based on the resource insights of a particular area, you can determine as an authority that a new development can only take place if existing materials in that area are being reused. And in order to define such a requirement, you need to have insights in what is there. Insight of private owners, public owners, but also owners of utilities like electricity cables or the waterworks. Madaster is built as a platform where you can put additional functionality on top of that. For instance, calculations to determine the embodied carbon that is part of a particular object or building. Calculating with the information of Madaster is one of the benefits of the platform we generate. And another one is that with the data that you have, you can monetize the data, because you can forward that information upon products or materials to, for instance, marketplaces. A digital marketplace that sells off reused materials. And the fact that you can forward digital information about products makes that market much more fluid. It makes the more liquidity in the market, the more information, the better the market starts to function. So if you have reused products to trade, it's way easier to share that information digitally than physically. And the more information is distributed, the bigger the chance that you will find a buyer. Or if you want to buy reused materials, it is easier if you can search and select into a digital database. Madaster is not the marketplace, but Madaster facilitates it for its users to share their data with a marketplace, if that is being available. There where we started, we already see those marketplaces popping up rapidly, and it's easy for us to connect towards a digital marketplace. Madaster also supports in the reduction of risk. And the picture behind me, you can see Grenfell Tower in London, where this very awful tragedy happened because the cladding was flammable. And there are quite some similar buildings in the UK that still have that flammable cladding. And where it is actually applied, we still don't know. And the difficulty is that the same type of cladding was used both in the flammable and inflammable version. But because there was no proper registration, there was no insight in where it was applied, the risk is still ongoing. So having a proper registration provides you the opportunity to minimize and mitigate the risks related to health and safety. And finally, Madaster provides functionality to track and trace materials and products applied. Very useful for manufacturers who would like to create a circular business model where they want to buy back their product or maybe provide maintenance to stretch the lifetime of their product. Obviously, this tracking and tracing can only take place with the consent of the user, the consent of the owner of the actual product. Ready to go? Yes, we are. We are already operational in 5 European countries, and we have applied projects all around the world. So if you want to use Madaster for your particular project, that definitely is possible wherever you are located. But if you want to use the full functionality of our platform, we need to adjust the platform for the local market circumstances. In order to do so, we have a rollout protocol that takes about 6 months to actually go fully live with our platform in a market. And we always do that with a local partner. When we kick off this rollout protocol, we first start looking at the regulatory requirements and the typical local processes or procedures that are used in the building industry. So if you want to use Madaster, perfectly fine for a project. If you are active in the market where Madaster is active, it's even better. If we're not active yet and you want to work together with us, please reach out, because our future outlook is we want to be where you are. So if you're interested, please contact us and let's see what we can do together. Thank you very much.